Hey, Steve here on Steve Shuttler Media. We are hanging out at the Mahaska Chamber and Development Group with Deanne DeGroot. And Deanne, we've got the 100th anniversary coming up for the Chamber. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so this Friday, we're going to have an open house from 8 to 2 o'clock. So come in, have some refreshments, share some memories with our team. But yes, it'll be 100 years of being an organized member of the U.S. Chamber. So August 30, 1924 to 2024, so 100 years.
All right, and it's this Friday from when?
This Friday, 8 to 2, and we will cut a ribbon here at 8 o'clock at the Chamber of Commerce office.
Your own ribbon cutting for
yes,
once. So
that's right.
You cut ribbons for everybody else. Now you're going to cut your own.
Exactly.
So.
Yes.
Very fun. Now, we are also being joined here. We've got a whole bunch of gentlemen here hanging out with us this afternoon. Guys, why don't you go ahead and say your name and what business you're with?
Okay, I'm Calvin Banstrom, a vice president at Bank Iowa here in Oskaloosa.
I'm Eddie Pearson. I work at MCG during the day, and then I own my own business, Home Plate Sports Cards, in the evening.
I'm Dan Bryce, and I'm with DB Landscaping at Oskaloosa.
And I'm John Otteson, I'm the president of William Penn University.
All right, now we're going to get whiplash on the video here. Let's go back to Deanne. Deanne, what do we want to talk about here today with the guys?
Yeah, so I brought a few of these guys in. They are chamber members, and so just wanted to, and a lot of them are involved and have been involved for a year. So just to get an idea of how they've been involved, how others can get involved, and what the chamber does.
All right, well, Calvin, what do you have to say for your chamber membership?
Okay, well, I'll start by going back to many years when I was part of a new organization that was a branch and arm of the chamber called MCARD, and that stands for Mahaska County Ag and Rural Development. And I wish I knew what year that started, but it was kind of an innovative venture at the time, with the chamber often getting just the image of being nothing but business folks, but with the chamber leadership at that time recognizing the huge impact rural America, rural agriculture has on the business community as well. So that arm was created so that the smaller communities within Mahaska County could be represented by the chamber and be a part of the growth of Mahaska County in general. So I've served on that committee when I was working at Lighton State Bank, so that was a rural bank that was asked, and when I moved to Bank Iowa, I've stayed on that. And I think that's a bit of a unique part that as time has gone with the chamber, now we are called the Mahaska County Chamber. So
Chamber and Development.
yes,
yeah.
versus the Oskaloosa Chamber. So that recognition of our place in the world has continued with that, and I've been pleased that many of the small communities in Mahaska County have benefited from our grant writing efforts to get them grants for various projects they have in those communities where resources are often very few and far between.
All right, great.
1997, MCARD.
Okay.
All right.
Here's the history.
Yeah.
He studied up.
I've been here too long.
Let's go over to Eddie. Eddie, what do you have to say?
Yeah, so I have not actually participated within the chamber. I spend a lot of my volunteer times on the Main Street in the Economic Vitality and the Promotions Committee, helping with the Main Street Initiative. As far as my interest in the chamber, I feel that the chamber is important as a business owner to participate and to pay my dues every year, because without the chamber, there would be so many things that this community would not have. You know, we have the Christmas parade and all of the summer events, the Sweet Corn Serenade and the Art in the Park. All of those things are because of the support that businesses and residents within the community provide to the chamber, and that money flows from the chamber into Main Street so that Main Street can do the great things that they do for the businesses within the Main Street district. So a lot of times talking with other business owners, there's always the question of, what is the chamber doing for me if I become a member, and the expectations that the chamber is going to go out and promote your business. That's a misconception of the chamber. That's not what the chamber does. The chamber brings the great events and the beautification of our community is because of what the chamber's doing. And I think the big thing that I'm most excited about is the new certified site. I think that that's going to be a huge catalyst for our community. And so without the money that my business, I'm just a small business, it's just me. But we've got a lot of businesses in this community, bigger businesses that really support the chamber as well. And every dollar counts. So I'm proud to say that I'm a member of the chamber, and I hope that people understand that money is not advertising money. It is supporting the community so that your business can benefit and grow. So, yeah.
Well said. Let's move over to Dan Bryce. Dan, what are some of your thoughts and memories with the chamber here?
Yeah, so I started my business here in Oskaloosa in 2007, and shortly thereafter became a chamber member, and then after that became like a contractor with the chamber. That I contracted some work through them and sat on a chamber committee that talked about the Christmas lights and the downtown painting with lights. And so we actually installed those painting with lights and helped kind of bring those painting with lights to town. And so that was such a great kind of event and project to bring to Oskaloosa. I was very proud to be a part of that, and proud that the chamber worked very hard to get that project going. That we brought them an idea of what could be, and they took it around and worked really hard in the community to pitch the idea to local businesses and all the building owners and the renters of those buildings, to pitch this idea that we could paint these buildings with lights and that people will come and see them, and it would become, a great community event in the lighting ceremony, and then during the parade, and was really happy to be a part of that. And I thought the chamber worked extremely hard to try to promote Oskaloosa, and that helps all the businesses in town. As they promote Oskaloosa, more people know about Oskaloosa. They come to Oskaloosa. It helps, get people to MCG and open bank accounts and go to college and own houses. And so, when you become a chamber member, it doesn't maybe directly help you, but indirectly it could really help a lot of small businesses and retail and manufacturing and commercial businesses. And so I was very happy to be a part of the chamber, be a contractor for the chamber, and be on a chamber committee.
All right. And then we've got John Otteson as well. John, your thoughts and any memories?
Well, I think, Penn's been around since 1873, and I think at least for the last 100 years has always had someone in the leadership team involved, often on the board. I sat on the board for a few years, and Deanne twisted my arm until I agreed to be an officer. But and it was my term as board chair was during COVID, so it was real interesting to see how the chamber reacted to that. And they've mentioned some of the things about writing grants and the certified site, and the Christmas parade is incredible, and we always get our kids involved with any of the chamber events when they're around as volunteers. But often I don't think the biggest impact I think the chamber has on Oskaloosa and the county are things that aren't always visible. The grants that were mentioned earlier that are given to some of the county businesses to expand, the certified site that makes Oskaloosa and the county a friendly to businesses. As those businesses expand, they can hire more employees. That helps every small business around, and that's not always a visible thing. But certainly from a William Penn standpoint, the chamber is important because any organization in town is only as strong as all of us are together, and the chamber does an awful lot of that stuff behind the scene that people don't always recognize. So we're fortunate to have a very strong chamber staff, people who are willing to work with city officials and county officials and different businesses to try to move things forward, and I've certainly seen that in my experience with the chamber.
All right. Thank you, John. Thank you, Dan and Eddie and Calvin. Deanne, do you have anything to wrap up with?
Well, just hearing these guys talk, Calvin said he was involved with M-Card. Eddie was kind of involved with Main Street. Hearing Dan talk about painting with lights, that's kind of tourism. And then, of course, certified sites, more economic development. So you know, a lot of communities, chambers are structured differently on what falls underneath them. And we are kind of that one-stop shop for all of those different things. And so, yeah, there are a lot of things that happen here, whether it's economic development or tourism or Main Street projects, and then, yeah, chamber initiatives as well. So just so many projects happening throughout the year, and it's fun. And so come out on Friday, share more of those memories with us from 8 to 2 o'clock for our celebration.
All right. And
I'll add one thing to Deanne, that too, that the precursor to the chamber, I think, was called the Business and Industry Association or something long like that. And we have an article when they had their celebration that they served boiled tongue. We will not be doing that on Friday, just so that you know. So.
Oh man, I can't wait.
all right. Well, Deanne and guys, appreciate your time today. And yeah, congratulations to the chamber on 100 years, and hopefully there will be 100 more.
Thank you.